of the essence. And then the last verse of 9th chapter, that is the essence of 9th and 10th chapter also. So that is why it is the essence of the essence of the essence of all Vedic literatures. So here we are. We will first this is what we discussed yesterday. Yesterday's chapter was entitled as Attaining the Supreme, chapter number 8 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we started with Arjuna clarifying his doubts. At the end of the 7th chapter, Krishna has spoken that how the Yoga Mishra Bhaktas, they desire for liberation from birth, old age, disease, and death, and how do they attain it. So Krishna mentioned some terms like, Adi Yagya, Adi Deva, Brahman, Karma. So Arjuna said, what are these terms? Please define them for me. So just to show a very interesting thing that actually we as humans will always go on learning by questions and answers. So questions will never stop. The quality of questions, the content of the questions will change. But the spirit of inquiry will always remain. At our Shri Shri Radha Gopinath temple, we have a devotee, name is his case Anand Vrindavan Prabhu. So his case Anand Vrindavan Prabhu is connected to Krishna consciousness movement from 1987. So he's a batchmate of His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj and many other senior devotees. So every time His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj gives a class, his hand is always up to ask a question. So from last almost 33 years, every single class what he's attended, if there is a time for questions, he has asked a question. So questions never end, but the quality of questions definitely increase. And this inquisitive spirit is a part of our eternal existence. So Arjuna also in the same mood is asking Krishna to clarify, and then Krishna answers the questions. And one of the questions he asks is that how does one attain of life? And this is what we discuss as art of living. And Krishna describes it also very well that whatever state of being one remembers at the time of death, that state of being one definitely attains. So, and it's a very interesting thing. Many times people ask, you devotees, you are practicing Krishna consciousness. We are not practicing anything. We are enjoying life in our own way. What is the difference? You say there is birth, old age, disease, and death, but the same things are there for all of you also. So how are you different? So Srila Prabhupada explains that actually a devotee, first of all, never grows old also. Although his body may grow old, but actually the enthusiasm becomes more and more and more. At one time, Srila Prabhupada was talking to his disciples in, I believe in Los Angeles. So he was telling, one devotee was asking him that when we grow old, can we retire to Vrindavan and Mayapur and just do our bhajan? Prabhupada said, yes, when you actually grow old and you have preached sufficiently, then you can go to Vrindavan or Mayapur, stay in our temple, and can do continuous bhajan. And then everyone looking at Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, well, as far as I am concerned, I am not yet so old. So then all the disciples told Prabhupada, we will never become too old to retire anytime. If you are not too old, who will become old like that? So a devotee, although apparently his body may grow old, but his enthusiasm grows fresh. His enthusiasm grows more and more. And we can see that even in current day and scenario, we can see the schedules of our ISKCON sannyasis in today's day and age. How much they travel. His Holiness Jayabhataga Swami Maharaj holds the world record for being the, traveling the largest number of miles in the flights. So we can see that although the body may apparently grow old, but the enthusiasm to serve, enthusiasm to preach and share Krishna consciousness never grows old. So we don't go through the old age as the karmi. And similarly, death. So yes, we die, and they also die, but it's a lot of difference. Srila Prabhupada explains in a purport that the death of a karmi is like the rat which is held in the mouth of the cat. When the cat holds the rat, for the rat that mouth is death personified. Very uncomfortable. But the same mouth is used by the cat to hold the kitten also. It holds the kitten and takes it from one place to another. And for kitten, that same mouth is the most affectionate place to be. That holding in mouth is the sign of affection. So Srila Prabhupada explained that yes, devotees died and non-devotees also die. But for non-devotees, death is like the mouth of the cat as it appears to the rat or to the mouse. And for devotees, death is like the mouth of the cat as appears to the kitten. So for a devotee, he is living and serving here, and whenever Krishna desires, he transports him to his own abode and he continues to serve there. There is no difference. So materialistic people cannot understand it fully, but as devotee, we should have confidence that by practicing Krishna consciousness, not only we learn how to live life, but we also learn how to leave this world and enter into the spiritual life. So Krishna further describes about attaining the Supreme, and he describes that how through many processes, although one can attain him, but the process of constantly remembering him, Ananya Cheta Hi Sulabham, that is the easiest process. If one remembers Krishna all the time, even while doing his various services, then one gets entry into the spiritual realm. And what happens when one gets into that realm? Mamupetya Punarjanma, Dukhalaya Ashashvatam, Napnuvanti Mahatmanam, Samsiddhim Paramamgatam. That one who attains me, he comes to my abode, which is different from this abode of birth and death, and he never takes birth again. So Krishna describes that how his planet, his Krishna Loka, is different from all other planets. All other planets are created and destroyed time and again, Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. But his planet is Mam Prapena Nivartante Tad Dhamam Paramam Matam. That abode of mine, if somebody attains, then he does not come take birth again in this world. And then further, he describes about the two kinds of ways of leaving the body. One leaves the body in daytime, and when the sun is in the northern hemisphere. So many conditions. Then one reaches up to Brahmajyoti. If one does not leave the body at that time, then one may go up to a heavenly planet and come back. Krishna says, my devotees don't have to worry about any of these things. Why? Because I personally take care of my devotees and I award them the destination they deserve. So this is the great benediction that Krishna personally get involved in the life of a devotee, and thus a devotee's life is much different than the life of any other kind of transcendentalist. And now today he continues, because yesterday he told that one who remembers me always, Nityasha, he is very dear to me, he comes to me. So today he will describe his own personal glories so that a devotee can, without reservation, think of Lord and his qualities and his pastimes. So before we see this, we will just see a document which is having a brief quote, some quotes from Srila Prabhupada's writings, which is very faith-giving. That actually, although we are practicing devotional service, and sometimes we feel that I am trying so hard, I am endeavoring so hard, why Krishna is not reciprocating? The fact is that at any point of time, Krishna is more eager to help us. Krishna is more eager to take us back to Him. Krishna is more eager to help us than our endeavors or our desire. So this is the fact which Srila Prabhupada writes at a few places in his writings and in lectures. And we will read through this to gain more confidence that actually Krishna is fully ready. He's not putting us in waiting list. Sometimes we are busy and we tell, okay, wait, we will attend to you later. Krishna is not at all lazy. Krishna is not at all keeping us in waiting list. Rather, Krishna is working so sincerely. Krishna is working so hard to actually endeavor to get us back to Him. And what lacks is our enthusiasm and our endeavor. And when we do that, then our endeavor and Krishna's mercy makes it a perfect combination for us to make proper spiritual advancement. So Srila Prabhupada writes here, Krishna wants all these fallen souls to be delivered because they are Krishna's part and parcel, just like a rich man. If his son goes out of home, he's suffering. His father knows that rascal boy is suffering. He's very anxious to get him back. Bring this rascal at home. This is father's concern, naturally. Similarly, Krishna is more eager to take you back. Therefore, he comes. He comes. And he has got his agent, the Guru. He has got his instruction, the Bhagavad Gita. The whole concern is that God is so anxious. Krishna is anxious to call back these rascals back to home, back to Godhead. Sometimes he's so eager that he comes himself. So, this 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna out of his anxiety, out of his concern to enlighten Arjuna and to really inspire him, take to the path of devotional service and come back to him in an easy way. And correspondingly says, the relationship between the father and son is always sublime. The father is naturally disposed with goodwill towards the son, and he's always ready to help the son in his progress in life. But in spite of the father's goodwill, the son is sometimes misguided because of his misuse of personal independence. Every living entity, however small or big he may be, has a choice of independence. If the son is unreservedly willing to be guided by the father is 10 times more eager to instruct and guide him by all means. Prabhupada says if we take one step towards Krishna, Krishna takes hundreds of steps towards us. So this is the grace, this is the mercy of the Lord. And here he says, Lord is reciprocally respondent to his devotees. When he sees that a devotee is completely sincere in getting admittance to the transcendental service of the Lord and has thus become eager to hear about him, the Lord acts from within the devotee in such a way that the devotee may easily go back to him. The Lord is more anxious to take us back into his kingdom than we can desire. And most of us do not desire at all to go back to Godhead. Only very few men want to go back to Godhead. But anyone who desires to go back to Godhead, Sri Krishna helps him in all this. Last one. Only Krishna can deliver us from this material existence. Indeed, he is always trying to deliver us. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Krishna. He is within our hearts and is not at all inattentive. His only aim is to deliver us from material life. His only aim. Krishna is Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. His Vyavasayatmika Buddhi is to deliver us from this material life. It is not that he becomes attentive to us only when we offer prayers to him. Even before we offer our prayers, he incessantly means continuously, without any break, constantly, he incessantly tries to deliver us. He is never lazy in regard to our deliverance. Therefore, this verse says, Bhuri Karunayam Anamulal. It's the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord that he always tries to bring us back to Godhead. So, actually, these are just few of the many places where Srila Prabhupada talks about this principle of how Krishna is more eager to get us back to him than we are eager to go to him. And this should actually delight the heart of the devotee that how merciful is Krishna, that although he is the Supreme Lord, he is the source of all material and spiritual creation. He is worshipped and loved by all devotees throughout the entire creation, but still he is so personally concerned about each and every one of us individually. So this thought should fill our heart with great joy, and this thought should fill our heart with great devotion and affection for the Lord. And this is the purpose of this chapter number 9, which is entitled as the most confidential knowledge, king of all knowledge. So just as a pearl is hidden in a shell, the essence of Bhagavad Gita is also hidden in the middle of Krishna-Arjuna conversation. And in this chapter, Krishna is outlining the most secret of all the secrets. So we will discuss about knowledge. Krishna, again, before giving the knowledge, he glorifies the knowledge. Who is the right candidate to get that knowledge and what are the attributes of that knowledge? And then he talks about his Aishwarya Gyan, Achintya Veda Veda Tattva, in one's relationship. Then he talks about the people who do not worship him, do not surrender to him. And finally, in the last 9 verses, he opens up his heart and he glorifies the process of devotion service, how he's so kind to his devotee, and how his devotee, even if he get distracted or get lost, still Krishna does not leave him. Krishna still protects him and considers him a sadhu. And finally, he reveals the topmost jewel of his heart, that how any devotee can become dear to him, can come back to the last verse. This is the king of knowledge. So this is the most confidential knowledge. Chapter number 2 to 6 is called Guhya Gyan, that is called confidential knowledge, because the knowledge of matter and spirit and how to act in this world, that is being described. Chapter number 7 to 8 is knowledge of bhakti, when the knowledge of Lord's energies is being given, that is more confidential, that is Guhyatara. Chapter number 9, it discusses about knowledge of Kevala Bhakti, unalloyed pure devotional service, and that is why it is considered Guhyatamam. It describes both things. It describes the majestic power, the Aishwarya Gyan of the Lord, and it also describes the excellence of a pure devotee and Lord's reciprocation with him. So this is knowledge of the soul, which is confidential. And this is Krishna's beautiful pastimes. So, who is entitled to receive this knowledge? Krishna first set the qualification bar. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam tu te guhyatamam. Now I am going to share with you the guhyatamam, the most confidential knowledge. Pravakshyami anasuyave. I am going to share it with you because you are anasuyave, because you are not envious of me. So people who do not believe in the personality of the Lord, do not believe that Lord is the supreme person, they are actually envious of the Lord. And such people give many commentaries on Bhagavad Gita saying that one should not surrender to Krishna, one should surrender to someone within Krishna. So these are all anasuyave, these are all envious people. Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam. It will give you both Jnana and Vijnana. Yagyatva. Once you know this, Moksha Seshuva, very quickly you will attain liberation from this material. The Prabhupada writes in the purport. The word Anasuyave is in this verse is also very significant. Generally, the commentators, even if they are highly scholarly, they are all envious of Krishna. Even the most erudite scholars write in Bhagavad Gita very inaccurately because they are envious of Krishna. Their commentaries are all useless. The commentaries given by devotees are bona fide, and no one can explain Bhagavad Gita or give perfect knowledge of Krishna if he is envious. One who criticizes the character of Krishna without knowing him is a fool. So such commentaries should be very carefully avoided. That means it's very important that we hear from a bona fide representative of Krishna. So here you see what.
When Krishna is saying to surrender, not that we have to surrender to Krishna. Actually, we should surrender to Brahman, speaking through Krishna. Personal character of Krishna is immoral. He danced with the wives of other men. He had many wives. He is normal human like all of us. Don't take Krishna seriously.
So these are the rascal commentators that Srila Prabhupada calls. They do not teach their disciple to surrender to Krishna, rather they say that Krishna is the immoral person because they do not know the transcendental nature of his birth and activities. And now Krishna advertises the knowledge which he's going to give. He's saying that this knowledge is Raja Vidya. Like there are many knowledges. There are 6 kinds of philosophies, Upanishads and all. But Krishna says, what I'm going to speak now is Raja Vidya. It's a king amongst all kinds of knowledge. It's Raja Guhyam. It is very, very confidential. It is not obtainable just by one's endeavor. Actually, one has to obtain it by surrendering to a bona fide spiritual master. It is pavitram. It is all pure. And one who obtains it becomes purified. Idam uttamam. This knowledge is capable of bringing one above all kind of darknesses. Udgattama iti uttama. One, that knowledge which brings one above the darkness of ignorance, it's called uttama. Pratyakshava agamam. Generally we talk of Shabda Praman. But Krishna said Pratyakshava agamam dharmam. That this is the highest dharma and this can be perceived by one's direct practical experience. And we all can see what kind of life we were leading, what kind of desires and aspirations we had, what kind of behavior and conduct we had before we came to the fold of Krishna consciousness. Pratyakshava agamam. Sometimes before we see our neighbors and relatives and friends come and tell us, oh, you have got changed. You know, your ways have got changed. I very clearly remember when I had joined around 18 years back. Within just a few weeks, my friends start coming and telling you have changed so much, you have changed, you are not even like one of us and all. So every devotee has this experience as they start practicing seriously. Pratyakshava agamam dharmyam. One can practically see that by following this path, one's nature, one's mind, one's desires, one's aspirations, one's destination, everything gets changed. Susukham. It is very pleasing because it does not involve that senses should be restricted. Rather, senses should be positively engaged. There are no restriction. In fact, it is said that people in this world enjoy in 3 ways: by eating different kinds of foods, by going to different kind of places, and by meeting different kinds of people. This is the 3 ways in which people enjoy themselves. And who, other than a Krishna conscious devotee, get to do these 3 things more than anyone else? Uh, the kind of prasadam which a devotee gets to taste is unbelievable. Sometimes there are thousands of preparations on a festival or on a Vyas Puja. So a devotee is not able to taste everything. So sukham. And then what is going to places? Every time all of you might be coming to India once in a year or whatever, and you come and you go to a different place for a pilgrimage, and you go there, you're with devotees and chant Hare Krishna, dance in ecstasy, take prasadam. And then meeting devotees. When you come for festivals, yatras, Vyas Pujas, we get to meet so many devotees on so many places, rather right from Russia to Australia and America to Japan and from China to Africa. It's very conveniently And these are all the example of sorry, project got disconnected. Let's see.
Okay, bro. Now we are able to hear you, bro.
Yeah, just now it got connected again.
Yeah, bro. Now it's okay.
Sorry, some network issues there. Yes. Sorry for the interruption. I hope and pray that this connection continues. Some issue in the network from yesterday. So we were discussing about Narad Muni. Narad Muni was born as an insignificant son of a maidservant. And this is to show the power and the purity of the process of devotional service. So he's born in an insignificant family. Once during Chaturmas, the 4 months of the rainy season, some exalted Vaishnavas came to the Brahmana's school where Narad Muni's mother, maidservant, was serving. So there, she was attending to their needs. The 4 Bhaktivedantas came, the 4 great sannyasis, Vaishnava sannyasis, they came, and his mother was serving them, and Narad the boy, he also got an opportunity to render personal service unto them. And then they blessed him with their causeless mercy. And then once, with their permission, Nara the boy took the remnants of their food and all of his sins were eradicated. So such is the power of Mahaprasad. Prabhupada writes a very beautiful purport on this particular verse. How by the power of the remnants of great devotees, one become completely purified. He says, just like if a person has tuberculosis and he gives his remnant to someone, then the other person will also get the disease. Nowadays, corona is a contagious disease. So somebody eats, he gets it. So same way, if one takes the remnants of a pure devotee, then one also get infected with the same quality of devotion. So Narada boy got the remnant, and in their association, he also heard Krishna's attractive pastime. They were all discussing, sitting together, discussing how Krishna is stealing butter, how Krishna is playing with his cowherd boyfriends, how Krishna is performing dance with the gopis. And when Narada boy heard such attractive pastime, his taste for such topic increased at every step. And then by their mercy, he realized that he's different from the gross and subtle body. He loved those pure devotees greatly, and with very gentle behavior, he strictly followed their instruction. And when these four great Bhaktivedantas were about to leave after Chaturmas, they instructed Narada boy in Bhakti Yoga how he should perform devotion service, the art of using everything in the service of the Lord. This is Bhakti Yoga. And then, after some days, Narada boy's mother passed away, and I became alone. He became alone. He immediately left home and started for the north. So this is a very significant thing. He's a boy of 5-year-old age. He has no shelter other than the mother. Mother loves him, and he's also dependent on the mother. And yet, by Lord's arrangement, mother was bitten by a snake, and the mother left. But Narada boy, because he was enlightened in bhakti by the power of the Bhakti Vedantas, he became grateful in that situation, and he could see that how Lord is trying to accelerate his growth, his spiritual development in that situation. So, like we saw in the beginning, that Krishna is more eager to take us back to him than we are to go to him. So, any devotee is convinced of this. Devotee's vision is that whatever comes in my life is actually a benediction of the Lord, and this is the situation in which I can make best spiritual progress. So, Narada boy, just imagine a 5-year-old boy, mother goes, what hope he has. But Narada boy was enlightened. This is a sign of enlightenment. One is grateful in all circumstances and can utilize all situations to make progress in Krishna consciousness. So he left, and then he walked through many forests and mines and hills. Once he was thirsty and fatigued, he took the water bath to refresh himself. Then he sat down in the shade of big banyan tree, meditated upon the Supreme Lord as I learned from his Guru. And then, as soon as he concentrated, the lotus feet of the Lord became transformed into transcendental love, and he started crying tears in ecstasy. Lord appeared in his heart, all his spiritual senses became alive. But the Lord disappeared, and then the Lord spoke to him while remaining invisible. Oh boy, you will not be able to see me. You will not be able to see me again during this lifetime, because one who is not complete in services and freed from mental contamination can hardly approach me. So this was Lord's word. And after that, as a special favor, I have shown myself to you just to increase your desire to come to me. By my mercy, you will always remember me and will continue making advancement in Krishna consciousness, even at the time of creation or annihilation. So Lord appeared, and Lord gave him a sample taste. Sometimes the companies come and give a free sample. They give a free sample so that we can use that, we can taste that, and can buy the whole product. So similarly, Lord appeared to Narad Muni to give a taste to him. He gave darshan. By that darshan, Narada's separation from the Lord got multiplied million times. And then whatever contamination was there in the heart, that also got burnt up. So then, thus absorbed in thinking of Krishna, in due course of time, I was freed from all mental attachment and I met with death, as Muni is saying. And instantly, as soon as he died, I received a transcendental form as Narada. Since then, by the grace of Lord Vishnu, I have been traveling everywhere, both in the spiritual and material world, singing on Veena, glories of Lord. So it is said that Narada leaving the one body and attaining another body, it was like a flashing of light. Just like the light appears in the cloud. It was no delay, it was no pain. So same way for a devotee who has practiced devotion service throughout one's life, death is not a painful experience. Rather, death is a very joyous occasion of leaving this temporary material body behind and again attaining to the spiritual body and going back home, back to Godhead or wherever Krishna may be willing to send us. So this is Narada, the story which goes to show how the process of bhakti is so simple and so transforming that whether it is a boy like in Narada or Dhruva or whether it's a old man like Ajamila, it has potency to transform everyone. And this is a range of Narada's outreach. Narada is blessing Dhruv Maharaj, who is a boy. Narada is blessingly cursing the sons of Kubera here. Narada is delivering Mrigari, the hunter. And Narada is delivering Prachinbari, the king, in the line of Dhruv Maharaj. He is delivering Chitraketu Maharaj, inquiring from Brahma. So, this knowledge of devotional service, what Prabhupada talked of, he said, Prabhupada says this knowledge is the knowledge of the ninefold devotional processes, the 9 processes of bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smarnam. So, practicing this process of bhakti is called practice of devotional service. So, this is Shravanam.
1,300,000 years and multiply it by 1,000. And what it comes according to English calculation. That is 12 hours. And add again 12 hours night. Then 8 billion. 600 million. So Krishna comes after this period.
So
In one day, after one day, a Brahma.
this is Shravanam. Shravanam means to hear from advanced devotees, especially Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual master, and to meditate on that, to apply that in our life. Prabhupada here is explaining a very vital point that one day of Brahma, what we were discussing yesterday, 8,064,000,000 years, Krishna comes only once. Such is the rare occasion of Krishna's appearance. And after Krishna originally comes, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes for and propagate the path of Braja Bhakti for 10,000-year golden period. And in that period, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, actually, Srila Prabhupada also comes to establish Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teachings all over the planet. So it's such a rare fortune we have got that we have got in this period when Srila Prabhupada had just arrived. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived some 500 years back and Krishna arrived 5,000 years back. And now that gateway to Golok Vrindavan is open. So how grateful we should be and how enthusiastic we should be to take this opportunity to make our life perfect in this very life by following the process given by Srila Prabhupada. This is Kirtan.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
So this is Susukham. You can see hundreds and thousands of devotees so ecstatically dancing. Prabhupada jumped. It was such a big news. All over the world it went that today Srila Prabhupada introduced a new step. He jumped up and down, and then from that time onward, everyone is gone jumping up and down. So this is Kirtanam, to chant the holy name on the beats is called Japa, and to chant the holy name in public is called Kirtanam. And also to distribute Srila Prabhupada's book is called Sankirtanam, that is Brahat Mridang Prabhupada called. There's a Mridang which is used in Kirtan, there's a Brahat Mridang, the big Mridanga which is played, and then the sound is sounded all over the world. So that is also part of Kirtan. And this is Smaranam. A devotee meditates and thinks of Krishna's wonderful pastimes. How Krishna plays flute, how Krishna reciprocated with the flute vendor, how Krishna lifted Govardhan hill, how Krishna is performing the pastime in Vrindavan, dancing on Kaliya, how he is bewildering Brahmaji. So these are all wonderful pastimes which a devotee hears and recites and meditates upon. This is Pada Sevanam. You can see Mother Lakshmi is constantly engaged in massaging the lotus feet of Lord Narayan. So this is Pada Sevanam, this is Archanam.
By chanting
You can see
Yesha Deepaha, followed by the deity's Mula Mantra, offer 4 circles to the lotus feet, 2 circles to the navel, and 3 circles to the lotus face of the deity. Then offer the Deepa gracefully in 7 circles.
So this is Archana, the process, the standard process, Pancharatriki Vidhi of worshipping the deity form, the Lord, and taught by our dear Sitalang Gaurampur, many of you might be knowing him as well. And this is Vandanam, offering obeisances and offering prayers to the Supreme Lord.
He's always meek and mild, with a warm and friendly smile, so simple in his living, singing all the while. He sings out Krishna's name.
So this is Vandanam. Srila Prabhupada has sung many songs, recorded many songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur. If we listen to these songs, then that mood of devotion which Srila Prabhupada is carrying, which will pervade our heart also. It's a very deep prayer. Prabhupada has sung the Sikshastakam prayer in 23 minutes. Can you imagine? We generally sing in 2 to 3 minutes. But he's singing with such deep devotion. So we can hear Srila Prabhupada's bhajans. They are very deeply devotion and they will invoke in us the right mood of prayers to this. This is Dasyam. Hanumanji is offering service to Lord Ram, marching ahead on the bridge. See here, Hanumanji. So this is Dasyam. So bhakti is so joyfully performed, it's perfect, it can bring one to the ultimate perfection. Then the question arises, Arjuna asks that if this is so simple, so easy, so wonderful, why the people do not take to it? Why there are people still not adopting the path of bhakti? And Krishna says, my dear Arjuna, Ashraddha Dhana Purusha, those who do not have faith, those who do not believe in my personal feature, those who do not believe that I am the Supreme Person and I have a abode and I love my devotees, such people, Ashraddha Dhana Purusha, Dharmasyasya Parantapa, Aprapya Mam Nivartante, such people do not attain me, Mrityu Samsar Vartmani. And Prabhupada writes about the three kinds of devotees in this purport, saying that there are the neophytes who do not have faith and do not have knowledge, and they get easily carried away by, the easily misguided by the atheistic minded people. Second category of devotees, Madhyamadhikari, are those people who have great faith in their own practice, but who may not have complete knowledge to defeat all the argument. And then the first class devotee is one who has full faith and full knowledge. And such a devotee can defeat any argument. And Srila Prabhupada says, we are not so knowledgeable, we have not learned so much science, but be it a scientist, be it a researcher, be it a journalist, anyone can come in front of us, and by Krishna's grace, we can defeat them. So Prabhupada never compromised on the Vedic truth. Prabhupada always propagated life comes from life. Man cannot go to moon because this creation is done by the Supreme Lord, not by the Big Bang Theory or something. So those who are faithless in their practice, who do not have faith in Krishna's personality and the worship of Krishna, these people cannot attain Krishna. So now the second section starts, which talks about the inconceivable relationship between the Lord and the material creation. How the Lord creates the material creation, but he's not a part of it. Although he maintains it and he annihilates it, he's not directly involved in that. So this is about the Achinta Bheda Aveda Tattva. Here you see, Maya Tatam Idam Sarvam Jagat Avyakta Murtina. I am all pervading. I am pervading everywhere in my Avyakta form, in my impersonal form. Mat Sthani Sarva Bhutani. I am situated in every living entity. Na Chaham Tesu Avastata. But they are not situated in me because I am completely aloof and independent of everything. And then fifth verse is Nacha Matasthani Bhutani. Now, if you compare this, Matasthani Sarva Bhutani and this Nacha Matasthani Bhutani, they appear contradictory. Paschame Yogam Aishwaram Bhuta Brahannacha Bhutasto Mamatma Bhuta Bhavana. So, what is the meaning? Krishna, through his energies, is all pervading. But Krishna, in his personal form, is residing in Golok Vrindavan and performing pastime with the devotees. So Krishna is inconcebibly one and different than his Brahman form, than his Paramatma form, and his personal Krishna form in Golok Vrindavan. So in the form of Brahman, he's all pervading, and all the planets and all the different kind of universes, they're lying in him. In this way, everything is in him. Then he's in everything. That means what? He's in everything means that as Paramatma, he's residing into every living entity. Andantarasa Paramanu Chayantarasa. Then he says, but Nachamatasthani Bhutani, I am not in them. That means as person Krishna, as individual Krishna, as the Supreme Lord, is still residing in Golok Vrindavan and his existence is not exhausted. So Prabhupada uses this word to prove that Krishna is not impersonal. Krishna has both impersonal feature and personal feature. He has a Brahmajyoti feature, which is all pervading. He has a Paramatma feature by which he is there in everyone. And he has a personal feature by which he resides in Golok Vrindavan. And yet, the entire creation can reside in him. And he's still out of the creation. So for this, the example is given of Krishna showing the universe in his form. So this is the inconceivable nature of the Lord. If I am in the house cannot be within me. Correct? Like now we are sitting in the house and listening. The house is not within us. We are sitting inside the room of a house. But Krishna is amazing. The entire universe can be in Krishna, and Krishna can still be in the universe and performing his pastime. So this is called Achintya. Achintya means that which cannot be conceived by our mind and intelligence. So this is the Aishwarya Gyan, Achintya Shakti of the Lord. This is Krishna's greatness.
Emanates all the three worlds, both spiritual and mundane. Everything rests in me, Arjun, just as you see pearls hang upon a thread.
So we already discussed how Krishna is the supreme creator in the form of how as the Mahavishnu, all the planets, all the universes come out of his pores. As Garbhodaksha Vishnu, he enters into every universe. As Kshirodaksha Vishnu, he enters into every body as super soul. So still, in spite of all these three Vishnus who take care of the material creation, Krishna still resides in his personal form in Goloka, his own abode, far beyond all the material world, and enjoy pastime with his devotees. So Krishna says the nature of this material creation is that it is created and it is destroyed by the will of the Lord. Prakritim samastabhya vishwajami punah punah. So although Krishna creates and destroys this material universes, he does it through his energy. He does it through his Vishnu expansion, and he personally does not get involved in him. And thus, although working, although creating and destroying, he does it all indirectly, and this work does not bind him. And thus, he is not responsible for any good or evil that happens in this world. Sometimes people say, oh, God is created by his desire, then he is responsible for whatever we do. No, that is not true. Just like the government is creating schools and colleges, and the government is also giving permission for beer bars, and the government is also creating jail. So now where a person chooses to be, whether he chooses to learn and study and become a good citizen, that is his choice. Or he learns to become a thief or a rogue or drinks and then goes to jail, that is also his choice. So Krishna creates and maintains this universe only for one purpose, for giving a chance to all the living entities to actually come back to him. And that is the purpose he comes in this world again and again to invite the living entities to return back to him. So all this work does not bind him because that is not done by any desire. That is done for the benefit of the living entity. And the material energy which actually conducts this material creation is Maya Adhyakshena Prakritiya. I am Adi Aksha. I am above the Maya Sakti. Maya Adhyaksha. I am not Maya Adhin, I am Maya Adhyaksha. Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. And that's how through this Maya Shakti, Krishna is managing the entire material creation. Hetu Nanena Konte Jagat Vipari. So though Krishna controls the entire material creation, is the source of all creation, is the essence of all creation, cause of all creation, still, although he's like that, still people misunderstand him to be an ordinary human being or just an amsha of the Purusha avatar. That is their misfortune. So these are the people who do not worship Krishna or improperly worship Krishna. So fools or impersonalists, they consider Krishna as an ordinary human being, avajananti. So when it comes to impersonalists, Krishna uses the word like ajananti or mudhas or vimudhas and avajananti. When it comes to demigods, he uses the word like avidhi purvakam, alpamedasam, because they are not fully intelligent, they're partially intelligent, they're less intelligent. But when it comes to Mayavadis, those who do not believe in Krishna's personal form, Krishna is very strong, and he says that such people are avajananti, these people are foolish. Mam mudha, they are foolish people. Manusham tanumashada. They think that I have assumed this form as son of Vasudeva, as son of Nanda Maharaj in a temporary way. They consider my pastime as temporary. And they try to make some man-made God. Here you can see that. They try to make some foolish person as God. Param bhavam ajananto. They do not know by supreme transcendental nature. And what is the fate of such fools? Moga asha, moga karmanu. All their hopes are baffled. All their activities, the fruitive activities, what they perform, they are baffled. Moga jnana, their knowledge is baffled. They do not attain liberation by their knowledge. Vichetasa, they are all deluded by Maya because they have rejected my personal form. So this is Krishna very strongly talking about the impersonalist worshippers. Those who understand that they are not this body, they are the souls, but they do not understand Krishna's personality. Their knowledge is incomplete, and because of that incomplete knowledge, they think Krishna to be an ordinary person, and thus they are doomed in their progress towards liberation. So then Arjuna asked, then what kind of people worship you? And Krishna says, these are Mahatmas, these are Ananya Bhaktas who worship me constantly with devotion. And these are two very often and famous quoted verses by Srila Prabhupada. Mahatmanastu mam partha devim prakritim ashritaha bhajanti ananya manaso gyatva bhutadim avyaya. O Partha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine spiritual nature. They are not under the control of material nature. Devim prakritim ashrita. They are under the control of Yogamaya, not Mahamaya. And they do my devotion service without distraction. How? Satatam kirtayanto ma. They are constantly chanting my glories. They never stop. Actually, we can see that as devotees grow and make progress, they have constant enthusiasm to chant Hare Krishna, to sing Hare Krishna, to give katha, to hear katha. Satatam. yatantascha dranavita. They endeavor with great determination, even in spite of sometimes bodily inconveniences and all kind of different problems. Yatantascha dranavita. They are greatly determined to endeavor perfection. Bowing down before me, namastantascha mam bhaktya. I have personally seen. I went once to Ahmedabad. Even here, when great personalities come, like you've seen His Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, how he's 76 this year, and his great Jaswamati Nandan Prabhu. So they will come in front of the altar and they are old and they already have some heart-related issues. They're told by doctor not to bow down, but they will take a pillow. They will take a pillow. Their disciple or devotee will keep a pillow, and they will hold the altar and gradually kneel down to the pillow and then actually bow down and pay full obeisance. This is called Namashantish Mam Bhaktya. That these great devotees, they feel great satisfaction in paying obeisance, going down before the Lord. In this way, Nitya Yukta Upasate. In this way, they constantly worship me. Then now in verse 15, Krishna talks of three more kind of worshippers. Because in 11 and 12 verse, he talked about those who are impersonalists, those who do not believe in the person form of the Lord, how their endeavors are baffled and they are doomed. And 13 and 14, he talks of pure souls who are completely surrendered to him. Now, in these coming verses, he talks of two more kind of worshippers. So these are Ekatvena. Ekatvena means that those who consider themselves one with the Lord. These are impersonalist people. They worship me in oneness, Ekatvena. The one may ask why these people are considered like worshippers at all. Because they have understood that matter is not all in all. Matter life is not all in all. They are looking for transcendence, but looking at it in a wrong way. They have wrong conception. Then there are another category of people, they are called Prathaktvena. Prathaktvena means they worship me in diversity. That means they worship demigods as supreme. So Krishna will further elaborate on these people. And these people he will call, in 7th chapter, he talks about them as Alpamedasam. Here he will talk, they are Avidhi Purvakam. They worship, but worship in an improper way. And third category of people are the worshipper of the Virat Rupa form, in the universal form. So in the next 3 verses, he is describing about the people who worship him in his universal form. So Krishna is so amazing that according to the desire of the living entity, although the real function of living entity is only one, serve Krishna with love and affection. But according to the mentalities the living entity has developed, Krishna, just to accommodate those mentalities, manifests himself in so many different forms and give the living entity so many different options, somehow or other, so that living entity can connect to him and can gradually elevate to his devotional service. So in the 16th verse, he says that he is the various element of all the sacrifices. Aham Kratur, Aham Yagya, Swadaham, Aham Asadam Mantroham Evachim, Aham Agni Raham. So those who worship the universal form, he says that I am present in the various element of all the sacrifices. And then in text number 17 to 19, he describes about how he is all pervading, he is the ultimate shelter, and he is the cause of all causes. So he says, Pitaham Asya Jagato, I am the father of the whole universe. Mata Dhata Pitamaha, I am the mother, I am the maintainer, and I am the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, I am the purified slave Om, and I am also the Regasam and Ajurveda. So like that, Krishna talks about how he is present in this Virat Rupa form, universal form, in which the one category of people, these Vishwato Mukham people, these worship. So here he describes about their worship. And now in text number 20 to 25, he describes about those who worship demigods. So he says that the knowers of the 3 Vedas, they drink the Soma juice, they are purified of sins, and they worship me indirectly through sacrifices, praying to enter heaven. Te punya asadya surendra lokam. So they desire for heavenly pleasure. They want to be in the Indra Loka. They want to see the dance of the Apsaras. They want to enjoy drinking of rasa, somaras. So such people, they worship by Karam Kanda process, by performing various sacrifices according to Vedic direction. And what happens to them? Tetam bhuktva sarga lokam vishalam. They enjoy there. Shine punya marte loka vishanti. When their pious credits are exhausted, then they come back to martya loka. Again they come back. Evam trayi dharmam anuprapanna gatagatam kam kamalogate. And in this way, they again and again take repeated birth and death. So on one hand, the demigod people, demigod worshippers, they take birth again and again. But what happens to those who are pure devotees of the Lord? So Krishna mentions about his devotees. So Krishna completely protect his Ananya Bhakta. Ananya Yantoma ye jana paripasate tesham nitya viyuktanam yoga chemam vahami aham. Very, very important verse. Many acharyas have given very elaborate commentaries on this verse. So ananya, ananyas chintayantomam. That means Krishna says that one who always worship me with exclusive devotion, ananya, not diverting to anyone else. Ye jana paripasate. Paripasate means they completely worship me through Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vandanam, Padasevanam, Paripasate in all different ways. Tesham, for such people, Nitya Avyuktanam. For such people who are desiring my association, Yoga Shemam, I protect what they have and I carry what they lack. Vahami Aham. There was one great South Indian acharya. When he read this verse, he felt Vahami. Vahami means to carry. This word Vahan, it comes from Vahami. Vahami means to carry. So he said, Vahami, why Krishna personally carry? Krishna is saying, I personally carry Vahami Aham. So he cut this word Ahami, Vahami, and then he in that place he wrote another word which was meaning he gives, he provides. So as he went out for taking his bath, immediately the two children came, one child having blackish color, another one having whitish color. And they came to his wife and they said, Mother, please take this supply of grains and sugar and all these things. Your husband has sent it. The lady was very surprised, wife of Padmanacharya. She said, why you are carrying that? And they said, actually, your husband did not trust us, he bet us. The wife was surprised that my husband bet someone. The black boy showed the marks on his back. This is how we are bet. And they gave all the ingredients and then they ran away. And when Arjunacharya came back, and then wife told, why did you mercilessly beat these two children? You know, through whom you sent the grocery. And Arjuna said, I did not meet any boys or anything. And then he understood that actually Krishna and Balaram personally came and Vahami Aham to demonstrate that they actually carry the needs of a devotee. They did this past time. And then he went and saw his Bhagavad Gita. Vahami, the word which he has cut. So that word was again intact. So that goes to show how Bhagavad Gita is also not different from the Lord. And the words of Bhagavad Gita are absolute truth. These are the promises. Krishna has spoken every word, not just as a extra promise just to attract the attention of the follower or something. Krishna means every single word what he says. So Krishna says, Yoga Chemam, I protect what they have and I carry what they lack. This is Krishna's affection for his devotees. Now further he continues with the demigod worship part. He says, demigod worship, it's a wrong way of worshipping me. Yepi anya devata bhakta, those were bhaktas of anya devata. Yajante shraddha yanvita. They worship these demigods with faith. Tepi mam eva konteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. They are improperly worshipping. Just like a tree has to be properly served by putting water at the root. But if somebody takes the water sprinkler and keeps on putting water at every leaf and branch, that is avidhi purvakam. Or a person is supposed to put food into the mouth. But rather than putting food into the mouth, he put in the ear because there's a hole here also. He put in the nose because there's a hole here also. This is avidhi purvakam. So similarly, demigod worshippers, if they worship only demigod, they're avidhi purvakam. What is their destination? He says that ultimately all the acts are meant for satisfying Krishna. But because they satisfy Krishna indirectly, that is why their worship is called improper. And what happens to them? Yanti Deva Vrtan Deva, those who are in mode of goodness and they worship the Devatas, they go to the planet of demigods. Pitran Yanti Pitra Vrta, those who worship ancestors, they are in mode of passion. They go to the Pitra Loka. Bhutani, these are worshippers of ghosts and hobgoblins. Then Bhutani Yanti Bhutaja, they go to their planet. And Yanti Mat Yakino Imam. And my devotees who offer worship and service to me, they come to my planet. So Prabhupada says that different worship lead to different destination. All are not same. All paths do not lead to the same goal. So now this comes the most beautiful section of this chapter, where Krishna personally speak about exclusive worship of himself. And that is why he has told Arjuna, because you are anusuyave, because you are not envious of me, I am speaking to you. Why? Because if a person speaks of his glories to an envious person, the envious person becomes more envious because he does not like that person. But because Arjuna is a devotee, Arjuna's friend, then Arjuna becomes more and more joyful on hearing about the glories of the Lord. So here is the glories of bhakti, simplicity of bhakti. So Krishna is saying for worshipping demigods, so much trouble, so many kind of yagyas have to be performed and sacrifices have to be maintained, and then also the result is not assured. But bhakti to me is so simple. What is that? Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati. Tadaham bhakti ubhartam asnami pretatmana. Even if a single leaf, patram, not too many leaves, leaf, one leaf. Pushpam means one flower. Phalam means one fruit. Toyam means little water. Yome bhaktya prayachati. If that is offered to me with bhaktya, with a feeling of devotion, Prabhupada defines what is devotion. Prabhupada says devotion means to feel that Krishna, you are so wonderful, you are so great, I am so insignificant, but still you are accepting my offering. So this feeling of humbleness, this feeling of meekness, this feeling of understanding Krishna's greatness and our insignificant position, and then with this consciousness offering something to the Lord, this is called bhaktya. Prabhupada explains. Yome bhaktya prayachati, with this feeling that Krishna, I am not qualified, I am not eligible, I am insignificant, but still, whatever little I have, I am trying to offer it to you, please accept it. Tadaham bhakti upartam. Krishna does not take the actual item, Krishna takes the devotion within that item. Here in the picture, you can see the wife of Vidura is feeding the banana peels to Krishna and throwing away the bananas. Krishna is accepting it. Gajendra offered one flower, one lotus flower he plucked up and offered, and then Krishna came to protect him. And the fruit vendor in Vrindavan, as we saw in the picture earlier, she gave some fruits to Krishna, and Krishna reciprocated with such love and devotion. So, Toyam, we worship the Ganges by taking little water from the Ganges, offering it to the Ganges back. That is the way to worship the Ganges. So, Toyam, little water we offer to Krishna, then we are greatly blessed. But all these items should be done with bhakti, because Krishna is not looking for these items, but Krishna is mentioning how simple it is to perform bhakti. It does not require any great qualification. Even the poor man, the poorest of the poor men can perform bhakti. Because even the poorest man, if he goes to some rich man's gate and he says, give me a little flower and leaves, nobody will deny. Because if he's a human, he will not deny. If he's an animal, that's a different thing. No human being will deny some leaves and flowers and fruits for some other person to worship the Supreme Lord. With such worship, the Lord gets purchased. And Arjuna asks, if I don't have your devotion, what should I do? Then Krishna says, still you should do Nishkam Karma. What is Nishkam Karma? Yat Karoshi. That means you are not doing what will please Krishna, but you are doing what you like to do. But Yat Karoshi, what you like to do, you do it, but do it in connection with Krishna. Whatever foods come, offer it to Krishna. Yad Akshanashi, whatever you eat, whatever you wish to eat. A Bhakta will cook what Lord want to eat, what is Lord's favorite item, and then offer it to Lord and take prasad. Another person, he is not a devotee yet. So we tell him, whatever you are cooking, you will not be cooking for the Lord, the best item for the Lord, but whatever you're cooking, at least you make an offering to the Lord. Yad akshanashi, yad juhoshi dadasi yad. Whatever austerities you perform, whatever charity you give, O son of Kunti, tat kurushva madarpanam. Offer such things to me before you enjoy them. So this is not bhakti yoga, this is nishkam karma, but this nishkam karma done regularly leads to bhakti yoga gradually. And what is the result of offering everything to Krishna? Krishna says here, Subha Ashur Phalar Evam Moksha Se Karma Bandhana Sannyasa Yoga Tatma Vimukto Mam Upeshashi. He says you will be freed from bondage to karma by doing the above mentioned things. And it's auspicious and inauspicious result. Then with your mind fixed on me, Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma, you will be liberated and come to me. So this is the process of Yukta Vairagya. How by performing action in Krishna consciousness under superior direction and offering the fruits to Krishna, gradually one gets purified and comes to Krishna. Now, 29th verse, Krishna says that I am equal to all, because all are my part and parcels. Samoham sarva bhuddeshu na me dveshyosti na priya. Neither I am envious of anyone, neither somebody is specially dear. But the last two verses, Krishna signifies the position of his devotees, where he says, Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. But those who worship me with exclusive love and devotion, mai te teshu chapiham. I also reciprocate with them in that way. They are a friend to me and I am friend to them. So again, this is not partiality, because a king is taking care of the welfare of all the citizens. But still, because his sons are more surrendered to him, they are more connected to him in love, and his affection for his children is more. So similarly, those who are practicing devotion service, they are like the children of the Supreme Lord. And all other people are like the general citizens. So kings take care of everyone, but those who reciprocate him with love. Krishna says, Ye yathamam prapadyante. So because devotees have surrendered to Krishna in love and devotion, Krishna also reciprocates with devotees with giving his affection and love to them. And his love and devotion is shown here, that even a devotee who may perform some sinful activity, apiche suduracharo, some abominable activity in the course of performing devotional service, bhajante mam ananya bhag, but he is properly situated. He is bhajante mam, he is doing my bhajan without distraction, ananya bhag. He does not surrender to demigods or any other things. Sadhu reva samantave. Oh Arjuna, this person should be considered as sadhu. Samyak vyavasito he because he is properly situated, he is properly fixed. Samyak vyavasito, vyavasayatmika buddhi is there with this person. This word vyavasito is the same as coming in vyavasayatmika buddhi. So because he's properly fixed in his determination on me. So again, these two verses are greatly elaborated by our acharyas in their commentaries. And we should take our time to read these verses because they will increase our affection for the Lord, how Lord personally protects his devotees. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes and Prabhupada quotes in the purport that a devotee performs two kinds of duties. One is his constitutional duties, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishwasmanam, the ninefold devotional processes, and conditional duties. That means he has a job, he has a family, and he has social duties. So sometimes in the course of performing, sometimes he's not able to take care of his conditional duties so well, or because of some past habit or conditioning, he may do some sinful activity. But if he's continuing to worship the Supreme Lord with affection and devotion, with determination, such a person should not be considered as fallen. So we have examples of many Srila Prabhupada disciples who served Prabhupada very enthusiastically, but in due course of time they got distracted by some way. But we should not disrespect them, and we can see that after many years of their practice, they again come back in such a strong way. And many of these devotees have come back. Prabhupada has personally come to take them back to Godhead. And many devotees we can think of, Hayagiri Prabhu, Sudama Prabhu, and they all, in the last moment, they say, Prabhupada, you have come. And they left the body. That goes to show that Prabhupada personally came to deliver them. So we should be very careful that although a devotee may seem to be engaging in some kind of wrong activity, and we should certainly talk about it to the devotee or to the superior and do the needful, but we should never offend the devotee because Krishna is very protective of his devotees, just like a mother. Although the son may be doing some nonsensical activities, but her love does not reduce for the son. She may chastise the son personally, but she will not allow the neighbors to touch the son. So similarly, Krishna takes offenses towards his devotee very seriously. Any devotee who is sincerely engaged in practicing the process of devotional service, he should be treated with great respect. Although apparently there may be some fault on his part, that fault should be neglected and his devotional quality should be appreciated. Shipram bhavati dharmatma. My devotee quickly he comes to the righteous level of consciousness. Shashvak Shantim Nigachati, and he attains lasting peace. Konte Pratijani hai, oh son of Kunti, you go and declare it boldly. You take that pratigya. Name Bhakta Pranashati. That my devotee never perishes. Arjuna asked, why should I announce? You only announce. Krishna says, you don't know. I know past, present, and future. So in future, in this same war, I will break my vow. Why? Because I'm Bhakta Vatsal. So I will break my vow and I will lift the wheel of a chariot to attack Bhishma. And then if I take this vow, then devotees will say, just see, in the beginning he spoke Bhagavad Gita. At the end of the war, he's picking up a weapon. So how can we trust his words? But I keep my devotees' words more carefully and do not allow them to break, even if I have to break my own word. That's why Konte Pratijane, you announce. You declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. And these two verses are great hope-giving verses for the devotees. And devotees relish these verses and cry tears of joy, seeing that how much love and affection Lord shows to his devotees, in spite of going on the wrong track for a certain time or for a certain instant. Still, Krishna does not give up the shelter to such devotees. He continues to give them shelter and protection. And he says that not only this, bhakti is not only removes the incidental faults, but bhakti does not even consider the inherent fault of a person which arises from his very birth. Mam hi parth vipashutta yepishu papa yone striyo vaishya tatha shudras. Those who may be born in the other yonis like striyo vaishyas and shudras, tepi yanti param gatim. By practicing the devotion process, even they can come back to me. This is the power of bhakti. No other process like Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga is available for other category of people except the brahmacharis and the brahmanas, but all of the bhakti is the process which is available for one and all. And then what to speak of qualified people like Kim Punar Brahmana Punya, what to say of the Punyavan Brahmanas and Bhaktas and Raja Rishyas like Amrish Maharaj and all. Anityam Asukam Lokam Imam Prapti Vajasvamam. They give up this Anitya. Like yesterday you were saying Dukhalayam Ashashvatam, it's the same thing. Anityam. Anityam means Ashashvatam, Asukam means Dukhalayam. Anityam Ashukam Lokam Imam Prapti Vajasvamam. And they attain my thing. And then finally, Krishna with great affection speaks this last verse. Man Manavav Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskaru. That my dear Arjuna, always think of me, not like the servant, who is serving a big rich businessman. He's serving a big businessman, but he's always thinking of his own children and wife at home. Don't think of me like that. Think of me as a supreme, well-wishing, loving Lord. Man manaho, engage your mind in thinking of me, not that externally you do services, but internally you don't have a thought. Mad bhakto, become my devotee. Madhyaji, worship me in Panchatriki Vidhi, worship my deity form. Offer obeisance to me, Mam Namaskaru. And if you do that, Mame Veshish Yuktravam, if you do this, Atmanam Mat Parayanam, then you will surely come to me because you have absorbed yourself completely in me and you have taken my shelter. So this is the essence verse of Bhagavad Gita, this verse. And this verse is exactly repeated and again 18.65 at the concluding part of Bhagavad Gita, again as it is by Krishna, to emphasize that this is what the message and the essence of Bhagavad Gita is. To remember Krishna, to offer our mind and heart to Krishna, to worship him and to offer obeisances to him, and this way becoming completely absorbed in our service to him. So this is the summary of today's discussion. I request all of you, as I do every time, that please read the purports of this chapter. They're very hope-giving, very uplifting, very increasing our devotion and affection to the Lord. Prabhupada written very beautiful purports. We can take our time to read them. First 3 verses talks about knowledge, that how this knowledge has to be given only to people who are non-envious, and the 8 items of this knowledge, Rajvidya, Rajviyam, the 8 qualities of this knowledge, and how the people who are faithless, they cannot assimilate this knowledge. Then the Achintya Bhedavet Tattva, how everything is in Krishna, everything is lying in Brahman, but Krishna is not in there. Krishna is there in his personal form. Then different kind of worshippers, the impersonalists and Mayavadis, they do not believe in Krishna's form and they are doomed. The demigod, they worship Krishna Avidhi Purvatam, and those who worship the universal form, they gradually advance. And the Ananya Bhaktas, they worship Krishna with love and devotion. Finally, the glories of Bhakti, how Bhakti is so simple that Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, offered with love and devotion, Krishna accepted. How Krishna is so dear to his devotees and devotees are dear to him. And how Krishna especially protects his devotees. And finally, he gives a call of action that, my dear Arjuna, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me and offer obeisances to me. In this way, you absorb yourself completely in me, in my shelter, and thus you will surely come to me. So we will stop here. Today we just ended just in the right time. So we will not have time for questions today. Tomorrow we'll keep time because in between we got the connection cut, so I could not manage to end a little early. So
Krishna, no questions today, Prabhuji?
I was thinking our time is up already, so we may not have because it's over time. Up to you, because your continuous program, your Shravana service going on.
It will be there, yes.
So whatever all of you decide.
We'll keep the questions. Write it down. We will do it in the last.
Yeah.
We'll have special session also for questions, no problem.
12th chapter onward, the chapters are comparatively smaller. Verses are less, so we are hoping to get a little more time. Now, this 9th, 10th, and 11th are substantially big chapters. But 12th onward, the number of verses are less, so we are hoping that we save some time in those days.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
You can write to me, Kundri, Jivan Prabhu, or who was asking, because our time is up, and that you are continuously into Shravana Utsav, so some more classes want to take another preacher's place.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Kundri Prabhu, anything is there?
No, Prabhu, I was just asking, like, whether we have something recorded version of these classes as well.
Oh, we do have. We definitely have. You can go to live.radheshamdas.com and actually these classes and PPTs, Yeah.
Also, we are
Thank you.
trying to YouTube now, so it will be available in YouTube also.
No, YouTube is not
Jai
required.
Ho.
You can log into live.radheshamdas.com, and this entire series, Pundrik Prabhu, entire
Yes,
series is
Prabhuji.
available. Radhesham Prabhu is the original one who created these slides and gave the lectures, and I am just parroting it and repeating it. So this is not none of my glories. You can hear the original lectures along with many question answers. Very wonderful sessions Radhesham Prabhu took in the lockdown period, and I'm just repeating it for the pleasure of all of you. So you can go to this website and download the original lectures. They're all available. Okay.
Sure, Prabhu.
Yeah. Gita Rahasyam, all lectures.
Even Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhuji.
we can give vote of thanks, Prabhuji.
Pardon, Prabhu?